Well, I'll say at first, my experience of having never done a martial art and not, I don't even enjoy like CSI or forensic shows or when I first went, it was just violence to me, and I couldn't believe the first time she asked me to go to a night of watching Muay Thai just to see friends. And my reaction was, "You're kidding. You mean you'd go do that when you weren't competing? You'd actually volunteer to go?" And so that was 10 years ago. And now 10 years later, my eyes are wide open and I'm screaming and yelling and loving every minute of it. So that's been a process. And I think at first I decided there was this kind of adaptation to violence that happened. Like, you watch too many violent movies, you can,
It's like
be desensitization. That's what I decided. But I think really, that's what I decided at first. But really, when I shifted from just being desensitized to really being into the sport, was when we went to Thailand and we saw the true nature of Muay Thai, and I could really see the martial art in its purest form, I guess I'll say, and then realized that watching the women competitors, it was closer to that because they use more weapons. It's less about force, more about weapons. It's less about knocking somebody out, and more about the technique. And so I don't know, I made that connection. And then also, so that happened, and then also Natalie, I call her the Matrix. I'm talking about TV and movies a lot here. But I started calling her the Matrix because she has this incredible defense and this seeing. Like, I started to see how she can see what's going on and be 3 steps ahead of her competitor. So I got confidence after a while that she was not going to get beat up. It did affect our relationship at first in the context of Natalie was more defensive and more defensive, I would say. And at first I was like, I don't know if I like this, but because she was sort of, I framed it as she's on edge and she's defensive and we're, maybe getting in fights. And then really quickly, I mean, that was maybe, I don't know, the second or third fight. So we figured it out pretty quickly that we like defensive. It's good. And the moment I remember noticing it, she was walking out of the bedroom and she went like she did this Muay Thai move, and there was a hanger hanging that had somehow, her elbow hit the curtain and it moved the hanger, and she was ready to block the hanger, weighed about 1/8 of an ounce. And I realized, oh, this is her whole body is ready to go in and be defensive and aggressive. And so that's the mode. So I learned to play with that and to not, to absolutely take, nothing personal, and know, like, Natalie needs to win we'll actually have conversations where there's a winner or a loser, which we don't do in our daily life. But I started to be like, she needs to win, and she can keep, we can just do this for another couple weeks and then it'll be over. Yeah. So that's the one significant change, is this aggressive, both defensive and aggressive, like needing to win and being defensive. They come out in her personality.
And that's what the training leading up to fights, she gets a little bit more?
It escalates towards the fight. And I'm glad that I figured that out early on and have been able to play with it. And sometimes I'll laugh when it's going on, and that's not a good thing because, it's like a cat. They don't like to be laughed at, really.
Do you think that you handle wins and losses a particular way?
Well, Natalie's my role model for that.
So how she feels is kind of how you go?
Well, it's awesome. I loved that right from the beginning. I would have, wouldn't have been, none of this. Okay, so this has been awesome fun. I talked about the specifics of, the whole violence, seeing it as violence and people beating each other up, learning that it's a martial art, and seeing the beautiful, after seeing the pure technique, now I could see the technique, and I no longer just saw people trying to beat each other up. So that made the sport really attractive and interesting to me. That's how I started to be able to even see it. I couldn't see it until I had that experience in Thailand, and I could see the technique. This would have been miserable if Natalie wasn't the sportsman and the sportswoman, and if she didn't have this just joy in the art and the practice of it. And really, to her, the wins and losses don't matter. I mean, it's always fun to win because socially it's everybody thinks you're supposed to and get special joy out of it. So the group experience is elevated, by a win. I would say our experience in our relationship post-fight at home, there's been absolutely seamless, no difference between a win or a loss, because Natalie just, that would be difficult if she had trouble losing, or if she got depressed or something after losing. That would, that would make this whole experience different for me as her partner, but no difference. I'd say it's a social difference, not a individual or relationship difference.